The views expressed on this program do not belong to LSU, the Manship School, Tiger TV, Mike the Tiger, or any other being. They are the absurd creation of writer and host Travis Cobb, so sue him, lawyers. Howdy, and welcome to the update. Hey there, welcome to the update. The government's back and so are we. Well, I guess me technically, not really the issue here. Folks in Washington clearly heard my calls for reasonable discourse and moderate governance. I mean, how else could this have happened? Okay, so it's all behind us, we can just move forward.
The Constitution would not have been written by Freemasons. They go against God.
Molly, come on.
You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. Praise be to God, Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay, yes, the House stenographer had this outburst last week, but come on, how am I not going to use that here? Anyway, the representative from Church and State got her time to shine. Mr. President, how do you respond to that? Literally, how?
Isn't this going to happen all over again in a few months?
No.
In fact, it didn't even happen this time. It was all a wonderful magic trick. The debt ceiling? Just an illusion. Well played. We're safe, people. We raised the debt ceiling, we replugged in the government, we can do anything as the American people, so long as we just move forward.
Obamacare is the worst piece of legislation that's been passed in the last half century. The single biggest step in the direction of Europeanizing our country. We need to get rid of it. And if the American people will give us a majority in the Senate and a new president, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Isn't Europeanizing how the United States came to be in the first place? Okay, so I guess we're just going to have to wait until 2014 to see where all this heads. But while we're on the subject of Obamacare, let's talk about these long lines on the Obamacare website. DMV jokes don't work nearly as well as the internet age. Regardless, it would take me longer to sign up for Obamacare than it did to register for classes. The update, topically equating the struggles of finding and or providing health care with making sure I can take the right blow-off classes senior year since 2013, because they're totally the same thing. My guess is that everyone's computer is sick with a virus and can't access the proper health care until Best Buy offers Obamacare for computers. It's a confusing circle.
I'll be the first to tell you that the website launch was rockier than we would have liked.
That's Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. She's become the target for Republicans after the site was and still is plagued by technical problems. Some people have been unable to sign up. Others have had their passwords disappear.
It's understandable that such a big undertaking is going to have problems, but at a certain point, the problems have to be manageable instead of crippling to the law. Like it or not, a law it is, and the government has the responsibility to give potential users the easiest access to Obamacare. As controversial as it is, you really want to give ammunition to detractors? But hey, it's not all bad, right?
There's no sugarcoating it. The website has been too slow. People have been getting stuck during the application process.
Well, that's just great. In his response to healthcare website glitches, the president now made me crave something coated in sugar. My bad health decisions are on your hands. Thanks, Obama. Quick, someone else, put my attention back on the program.
Meanwhile, efforts are underway to fix the problem.
There are constant improvements underway so that we are getting people in much more quickly. We have a plan to go back and revisit people who may have had an unsatisfactory experience.
All in all, a new website launch from the federal government isn't normally a big deal, but this law is different. This website is different. So the response to failures has to be more swift, or hey, maybe just get off to a more competent start next time. After all, how else can you Europeanize anything? Coming up after the break, missing the mark demonstrates the wrong way to teach school shooting safety.
I'm Travis Cobb, host of The Update, and you're watching The Update on Tiger TV.
Welcome back to The Update. I'm still Travis Cobb. Incredible, right? This week's Missing the Mark is looking at gun safety. But before I begin, though, tragic events today as a teacher was shot and the suspect is dead in a Reno, Nevada middle school. My thoughts go to anyone grieving today. These types of events are all too common in this country. More and more, the need becomes clear that people have to be prepared for anything. Last week, I found this story about a school teaching students about the value of reporting incidents to teachers when something is off. A simple enough lesson, right?
The staff member who's not a teacher went into each room wearing a ski mask and carrying a toy pistol. Ken Dirksen is the spokesman for Wayne County Schools.
This kind of caught the teachers a little bit off guard because they weren't expecting this, but they rolled with it, and they were able to quickly address any student concerns before they arrived.
How do you just roll with this? Not even a, hey, staff member, cooled a bit with the kids. After all, they're only in 6th grade. Traumatizing 6th graders is not on anyone's payroll. If you want to teach people how to respond to a life or death situation, you shouldn't scare the daylights out of them. That teaches panic. That creates bad decisions. It can even promote distrust among authority figures in the future. I also found a different story about guns here, but it makes a larger point about the role they play in society.
Jody Putnam, now a former Mountain City police officer, was on duty when Dollar General needed help with a squirrel in their building. According to police department records, Putnam fired his gun inside the store.
Imagine how many times guns would go off on LSU's campus if that level of force was the standard for squirrels. The answer is a lot. Look, I'm sure Putnam regretted the decision as soon as he shot the weapon, mostly because it's kind of a career ender. But what we can't ignore is that when guns, even brandish fake plastic ones, become the first solution, it solves nothing.
One 6th grader whose father did not want her nor himself on camera told me the toy gun was black and looked real. The student said the man even pointed the pistol around the classroom. There were some children who went home crying, she told me.
You don't need to teach lessons like a vigilante. Children understand to listen when a lesson could help them. But when the lesson plan involves fear and surprise, you're risking them remembering the shock and not the right way to respond. If you want kids to be able to handle crisis like adults, devote good time to it. Teach the kids like adults. Because otherwise, they're not learning anything, and your lesson misses the mark. Next on the update, I drone on about the latest technology that could become more prevalent. If you didn't catch that play on words, I'm talking about drones. Stay with us.
Is this thing filming me?
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, it's been filming the whole time.
Welcome back to the update. Today we're talking about flying pilotless machines that you could own for yourself at some point. I'm talking, of course, about drones. What a drastically underwhelming name considering their power. So wait, Travis, you mean I can own a machine that the government uses to strike down suspected terrorists from up high in the sky? Oh, and likely civilians in close proximity? Well, not quite.
For example, a drone costing a few $100s can be used to monitor wildlife reserves and assess damage from natural disasters. You can even use them to deliver wedding rings if you're so inclined. What you cannot do yet is commercialize them, making it hard for private citizens to get licenses.
It's perfect. Now I can still be at the bachelor party while wife to be named in the future waits for my mechanical ring bearer. If that's not romantic, I don't know what is. But of course, some people don't quite see drones flying over our civilian skies as the latest awesome thing.
There are also clear safety concerns. This drone capturing images of a bull race in Virginia this summer suddenly fell from the sky, injuring at least 4 spectators. 1 month later, Texas became the first state to pass legislation punishing improper drone use. The state now implements fines of up to $500 for the crime.
You heard right, folks. Even Texas, my home state, said thanks, but no thanks to privatized Skycam hawks. Sure, it might be risky, but think of the children. When was the last time you saw kids flying kites? That's exactly what I thought. Technology is advancing, and kids' toys need to compete to get them back outside. That's why if drones do become available for private use, I vote to rename them iRobots. I know what you're thinking. How has Apple not invented this toy yet? Apple, get on getting the rights from that bust of a Will Smith movie so the toys of the future can actually entertain our children. Okay, when can we have these by?
The Federal Aviation Administration is working under pressure from Congress to prepare for potential risks. Its assignment? To commercialize and regulate the use of drones. Its deadline is September 30th, 2015.
Almost 2 years. Ugh. By then they'll be out of style. The federal government will come up with the Drone S or something, Drone C. Maybe it comes in gold. I don't know. I guess I'll have to think of a different way to play Santa from my living room again. Maybe I'll use a mailing owl. We'll see. Thanks for joining us on The Update. If you want more of The Update, petition Tiger TV to pick up more shows than just one a week. Well, actually, don't do that. One show, that's just enough writing for me. Instead, you can follow our Twitter at @TTV_update. Or hey, You can follow my own personal Twitter at TravisCobb5. It's pretty much the rage, I think. That's what the producer's telling me. The producer didn't tell me that, I'm lying. I'll see you all next week. Until then, go update yourself.